Hi everybody, this is going to be a bit different from my normal, what you've seen from me. I started out with vlogging for Vlogmas, but yesterday something came to my attention. I was doing my normal daily Vlogmas video and I was telling you about something that Taylor was going to be doing today. I'll put that clip in of that video and you see, and then I'll come back. So yeah, Taylor, I got a phone call from the teacher from Taylor. He's to do some sort of filming tomorrow with the Glasgow Dyslexia team. There's nothing to be embarrassed about being dyslexic. Yeah, I have told in my videos before that I'm dyslexic. Mom, I'm not embarrassed by it, neither should you be. There, thank you. Mom. So yeah, as you can see, Taylor says he didn't want the information about him being filmed for the dyslexia group in school on YouTube. So for me it was like, why are you being embarrassed? I'm 28 and now being dyslexic, it's just something I deal with. I'm not defined by, oh, I'm Nicole, I'm dyslexic. It's now, I'm Nicole and I have been diagnosed dyslexic, and that's it. I don't try and change anything. If I'm doing a video for YouTube, then the spelling of the title might be not proper. I did go through years and years of getting my husband to correct things, and I got to the point I was like, no, like, if it's getting that bad, I'm not going to keep stressing over it. So now, if I'm doing a comment on something, or if I'm doing a post on a social media page, if I'm uploading one of my photography photos onto a group and I maybe spell the area wrong, then that's my fault, but I'm not going to stress over, because it's just, that's what it is, that's what happens. So this is my video to break down what is dyslexia, and I'm not saying that you could go onto different websites and you can probably find out more different information, but this is to prove to my son that he does not need to be embarrassed that he is dyslexic, because I'm not embarrassed. So what is dyslexia? Dyslexia is a common learning difficulty, and 1 in 6 people can be dyslexic, but no 2 dyslexic people can be the same. The challenges for a person that's dyslexic could be reading, time awareness, writing, note taking, and rote memory. For example, doing math, long sums, times tables. The strengths of someone that has dyslexia: good problem solving, creative, social empathy, and observant. There's so many different ways to try and help someone that's dyslexic, and I tried them all with Taylor, and that's why it surprised me when Taylor said, I don't want that on, because everything of Taylor is on, and I've been very open in my life about me. So the things that you could help with is encouragement, always encouragement. Teach like the big picture of it, not just like little part of it. Talk things over, break things up and talk it over as well. Learn by direct experiences. Now this one, I found Taylor was struggling with time, and I found in school that they were doing time and they would show him a clock. They had a picture of a clock and they glued it into the front of a book. So when they had the book, Taylor's page here had the clock on it, but he was working like 5 pages back doing the time, so he had to keep moving that page, and breaking that page from the one he was working on didn't work for him. So for Taylor, I made Taylor this, which is just felt, and it's just all the numbers for the clock, and underneath these flaps we have like the minutes that go with the clock. So that's 9, so it's 45, so like 6 is 30, because he couldn't think what the minutes were for the number. That was also helping with digital. The other ones that Taylor struggled with were fractions. So on the back side we have Velcro sticky on fractions, so he just knows a whole, a half, a third and a quarter. And this is something still to this day that I get stuck at. I don't know really very good for fractions and percentages as well. I've never had to make him anything for percentages, but I made him this because he's a really good visual learner and he used this a lot in school. And when I said to the teachers that I had made him that, they were like, well, we don't know that that would help him, because maybe because I was dyslexic or am dyslexic, I could have a better understanding of what Taylor needed. So being down the route of he's a visual learner and needs things to be there, so he's got the page open that he's writing on and not have to flick, he's got something right in front of him. So he's also got this one, which is times tables. So every times table is a different colour and it's just the answers. So it's like, that's the 1, so we have 1 to 12 on the top, and then obviously it's 2, 4, 6, 8. So that's just all the times tables, and it goes all the way down to the 12th times table, and just things like that, like to help him. So it's just, the other thing I would say is don't overcorrect. If you've been watching, if you watch my Vlogmas videos, there's day 10 or 11, TMA reads a story in it, and she does say a few words wrong, but I won't correct them. So the book could have a word similar to that, but she's read that book with that there, so that I don't see the issue. She's trying to read it, so why change it? Why go, oh no, that word's wrong? Because she was quite happily continuing with what she had. And then the next time we go to read the book, then I would go and maybe read it first, or I maybe say, oh, try to sound this one out a wee bit. If she got that word wrong and I said that's wrong, she would just give up on the book, and I don't need her to give up. I want her to keep trying. And I found it with Taylor, he didn't want to try, and now that he has a group in school and he had a dyslexic teacher coming into his school, and there's a certain group and they've got books, the talisman books, I'm sure. Taylor now isn't using them anymore, he's using a novel, which is a breakthrough, because this is the boy that would not even touch the book, and now he's actually sitting and he comes in every day from school and he's going, I've read up to chapter 12 and I've read this, and he's like, oh, is Santa going to bring me more books? They may be the books that he likes are murder books, but they're for children, and investigating things. And that might have been why we were going wrong. Maybe we were giving him the wrong kind. Maybe that's not what he wanted. So now that he's got that, he's getting there. And like in school, we had a meeting with the school, and it was a dyslexia night for the parents to go in, and a game that they really liked was this one. And it's 4 in a row, so anyone that knows Connect 4, this is basically what it was. And you go, you have, they used plastic money from the school, so say one person had 50 pences, one person had £1, and they had to get their coins 4 in a row, and every time they got a coin on top of a word, they had to say the word out loud. And it was just something really simple that made Taylor want to win the game, but at the same time he was also reading out these words. And I thought that was just brilliant, because that's a boy that I couldn't get to do his words. I tried, when Taylor found out he's dyslexic, also buying these are coloured visors. So you would basically put them on top of things to break up ones. he never really needed them. He said he was fine without them. He had them in about 4 different colours, and he did use yellow for a little while, but as I say, he didn't really say that he needed them. Give you my background on being dyslexic. I was diagnosed with dyslexia in my school, so we're talking back in the 90s in primary school, and I noticed that I can remember now getting bringed out of class every time we would go into a group, the same as what Taylor's doing now. But my view of being dyslexic back in school is nowhere where it is now. I felt very taken away. We had these books, if anyone is back in the day of my age area. It was called Fuzzbuzz, and I remember doing these books so much, and they were, oh excuse me, I'm so tired today. They were all about like a little bonnet, and they were, it was Scottish themed. They were up in the Highlands, and I had said to Taylor's teacher that I had gotten Fuzzbuzz because that was the only thing that I knew that was meant to be a book for dyslexic people. And she'd said, I don't really like using them because they're not like things that words that they would use in everyday thing. And I kind of thought, well, that's true, because he's not going to be shouting about bonnets and haggis and Big Hilda and Big Ben. So he wouldn't read them anyway. So we just gave up on them. But to see Taylor now is totally different. But back on the 90s, that was the books that I had. And as I say, I would get taken out of groups. And in school, I had a teacher, and it was about primary 6 or 7. And what the game was, at the end of a class, we would all stand up and she would give us a word and we had to spell the word, and if we got the word right, we got to sit down. And I remember a good few people did it and they all got to sit down, and she came to me and she had to spell arm. And it's a simple word, and that word haunted me for the rest of my life because I could not get that word right. And I'm looking at all the people on my table that are now sitting because they've got their words right, and I'm standing up and I'm looking and I'm going, and they're all wording like whispering letters, and I'm throwing Z's in there that I know aren't in that word, but I was in such a flutter because I could not get that. And I think now, I wish it was so the way that Taylor's doing it, because he's so confident in his group and he wants to do things. And as back then, I didn't, because that just put me under pressure. And it's one of these things, like, I wish it was different, but now, like, going to high school from that primary, we went there and we had like, they would come and take you out of class up there as well. So I had a really, really different, like, I probably didn't want it to be associated. I didn't want to be dyslexic. I felt like I was always being taken away. And now, having Taylor that's 10, he's saying that, he's probably thinking the exact same things, and I don't want him to have that view. So now that I'm doing this, I feel like people should understand what it is, because there's been times when I've phoned up companies and I've asked them for stuff, or I've been trying to discuss stuff, and it's maybe a letter that they've sent me, and I've said, can you explain that? And the person on the phone turned around and went, he said something, sorry, and it was a word that I wasn't familiar with. I didn't know what it meant. So I said, can you please tell me what that is? And he's like, I said, I'm sorry, I'm dyslexic, I don't know what it means. And he says, well, dyslexia is only for your reading, it means you can't read. And I was like, sorry, but that's not just the case. And even people's views of it, it just annoys me. Like the things when you say to someone, oh, I'm dyslexia, and they go, oh, I think I've got that too. And you're like, alright, okay. I wish you had any idea what it's like to sit down and your kids come in with homework and you're looking at it and you're like, what is this and what am I meant to do with it? Or just like everyday things when letters come through and you're filling in forms, or anything really, that like, it's just so hard. I can read something and then a few hours later I won't remember what I read, and it's so annoying and so frustrating. And I'm 28 and I have read 2 books in my adult life, and one of them was from high school that I reread because I could remember the teacher reading it to me, and that's why I remembered it. And I so wanted to read that book again, so I did. I must have done it about 24, 25, and I went and got the book and I read it again, and I was like, I did that. I read the full book, but it's not something that I can do because it just leaves me. I don't remember it, and that's another thing. So the things about dyslexia that I wanted to read through and just make you aware, it's not just a reading thing. It's not just meaning, oh well, you're dyslexic, you can't read. It's not just that. It's like memory difficulties. So like a phone number, it takes me so long to memorise a phone number, and I've had my same number now since I was 17, and I refuse to change it because it took me so long to memorise it. The alphabet, I can't say the alphabet unless I say it from A right to Z. I couldn't tell you what comes before something or what comes after something, and it's still something to this day. If I'm doing something with the kids, I have to write the alphabet right down to look at it, because they like a game and it's the animals. So we start with all the animals that start with the alphabet. So we go A, B, C, and we pick the animals for it. But after we've said that letter, then pick the animal's name, I forget what the next letter was. So we have to go through the full alphabet again. It's things like that. Times tables. I don't know my times tables, and I'm not embarrassed to say that. I don't know my times tables. If I have to do any calculations in this day and age, I use my calculator. I try and encourage Taylor, as you'll see with the things that I made him. But I don't know mine either. And I'm okay with that. I'm not embarrassed by it. My son will ask me, what's this? And I'll say, maybe I'll try and get the one next to it, or if I know the one lower in it. The other one that I would have to do was add on. So if it was 4 times something, I would keep adding 4 on until I got to the answer that I needed. And dates. Another thing that I can never remember is dates. I use a bullet journal. So every time I need a birthday or something, a note, I have it in there. Motor control. So coordinating problems. So that's another thing. Like if you try to do things, these things don't affect every single person that's dyslexic. You might notice that some people have some of these and some people have other ones. They don't have them all, and that's fine. Handwriting. My handwriting's terrible. I must admit, I feel like I'm still in school sometimes when I read my handwriting. It's just, that's what it is. It's not, you can't say Taylor's just came on great, and I must admit, maybe now, if I had the same team of people that are now dealing with Taylor and the new strategies, maybe I would have been totally different, but I just don't. My handwriting's readable, but it's not brilliant. In copying. So I kind of explained this before, when Taylor's trying to do the time sums and looking at the pages before for the big clock that they had maybe on the front of the book, you can't copy things like that. And if I'm copying like Christmas cards, I maybe write all my names down for all the Christmas card people, and then when I'm going to write the names onto the actual cards, I've got to make sure I cover them up so I'm not recopying, because I will recopy and I'll make the same card for the same people. Sorry, I've got a list here that I'm just going through because I forget it. So reading, we've got that one. We've got losing the place in the text. So you're reading the book. This happens to me a lot. I'll read the book, the page in the book, or the line in the book, but then I'll go and read the same line again because I forgot where I was. Or moving or overlapping text. So the text actually moves about. So the O from that one goes to this side and it jumps over. And that's another one. And needs to reread. So yeah, that's what I was saying. I have to read the same line over and over because I won't take it in. Spelling. So spelling's another issue. Can't remember what words look like. So this is one of the ones that I got in school a lot. You would go to do an essay in school, more high school, and you would go and you would write the word, and you'd go to teacher and you'd go, that word's not right, and I'll be like, well, how do you spell it? And they'll be like, go get a dictionary. Now, that would be great to go and get a dictionary. I would love to go and get a dictionary and go and get my own help and do that. That would be great. But if I can't spell that word, how can I go to a dictionary? because I can't look up a word if I don't know how to spell it. Because you need to know how to spell it to go to a dictionary. So that wasn't possible. So some things like that, when a teacher would say to me, go get a dictionary and look up the word, you'd be like, yeah, but I don't know the spelling of it. And a lot of teachers did that to me. And it really, really frustrated me. There was one English teacher that I had, and she was brilliant. I don't know if this will ever get to her, but it was Mrs. Kelly, and it was from my high school. And she broke up words for me. And still to this day I can now spell because I used to write because with a B and then cause, and that was it. It was nothing else. And she broke all the words up, and now to this day I can still remember it. Hearing sounds. So like when Tammy's primary 2 now, so she's bringing home phonics, and I'm looking at it and I'm going, I don't know the sound to that. And even when I'm trying to, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I don't know the sound I'm meant to be making. So that's another one that can happen. And similar sounds cause confusions. So that happens a lot as well with the phonics. I've noticed that some of them are quite similar. And you don't know if it's that kind of sound or that kind of sound that goes into the word. That happens a few times. Listening problems. So problems taking notes. So when you were sitting in a classroom, this would happen to me, and the teacher's shouting stuff out and they're going, right, copy this down. And you're like, okay. They would say something and you wouldn't be able to catch the rest of it. It would be like you were trying to write it down. It just wouldn't happen. So that's another thing that can happen, like when people are listening. Also, like background noises. So if you're sitting there trying to really listen to someone, maybe sitting next to you, telling you something, but you can still hear Bill and Ben behind you talking, that would automatically make you want to listen to them. And it's just what happens. It's just if you've got something in the room that's distracting you. I can't read if there's someone else in the room making noise. I know that for a fact. Usually if I do try and read something, I have to be in the room myself. That's just what happens. Difficulty. So writing. So difficulty writing ideas on the paper. So I feel very creative and I love to make things. That's one of the things that I do. But see, if I was to go and write it down, it can, or even like an idea for essays and stuff like that, it doesn't happen. I went to write down this, what I'm doing right now, and it's basically, I've just wrote like bullet points. It's not like an actual speech for me to read off of. It's just, it's easier for bullet points for me. And organising problems. This one I don't have. I feel like I'm the other way. I'm very organised and I'm very, very, like, everything has a place and point, and Taylor does have this one. Taylor has lost jotters and books and things all over the time. He just doesn't, he put things down and don't know where he puts them. He has that very much. I don't have that one. So I can't give you my experiences on that because I don't have it. Can't find the right words. This is something that happens to me all the time. In a sentence, I will go to talk and I'll throw in a word and my husband will be like, I don't think you meant that word. And I'll be like, why? And he'll be like, it doesn't mean what you're meaning. That happens to me a lot. And I just sort of embrace it now. I might say the wrong words all the time, but that's just what happens. The other thing that I do, which is not on this, I say a lot of words, like earlier in a vlog today, I said, it's just on that table behind me, but it wasn't behind me, it was in front of me. I do that a lot. I get things mixed up, like my words mixed up, so instead of saying, or back to front, that would be the way to say it, I get them a lot back to front, so instead of say in a sentence, I would say things the wrong way around. I know what I mean, and my husband now knows what I mean, but not everyone might. But yeah, that's another thing that happens to me. Another point to just make clear, a problem, people think a problem of intelligence. So they think that kids that are dyslexic aren't as intelligent as the children next to them. That's not true. People that are dyslexic are as intelligent as the kid next to them that isn't. It's just the way it is. It doesn't mean that you're not intelligent. The the other things out there that there's really, I don't feel like when I was younger that it was out there as much, but if you think of the amount of celebrities out there that are dyslexic, there's loads of them, and I mean the really high class actors and actresses that do things. And even Albert Einstein, he was dyslexic, and he used to say that dyslexic have the potential to become geniuses. So the people that are dyslexic, if they've got the potential to become geniuses, so does everybody. That's about it. I don't have anything else on this, but I do feel like it had to be out there. I don't feel like it's said enough that it is okay to be dyslexic, and we just need to reinforce that. So yeah, that's my message from today. If you have children that are dyslexic, just keep encouraging them, and if they've had enough that day, then leave them be. But really check out your local dyslexia groups and see what ones the schools are using. The ones that I'm sure that our school are using is GSS, write it down, Glasgow Dyslexia Support Success, GDSS. That's the one that I've got on my Twitter, and they're the ones that go into schools in our area, because we're from Glasgow. But I'm positively sure if you go on to any of your Twitters or anything like that and put in dyslexia, you'll bring up all of the stuff that's in the area. And I'm sure if you ask your schools for if it's for your children, that you'll be able to find out what ones to go to. I just really, really wanted it to get out there that you don't need to be embarrassed. And it really should be out there for everyone to know that it's okay if you struggle, and it's okay to need help. Like, I'm 28 and I still need help on certain things, but there's other things that you can be, and there's other things that you can try. You just need to do things. Another thing that I really hated, and I've just remembered it, is being called lazy. It doesn't mean you're lazy, because people that are dyslexic really, really try. Like, it takes me so long to try and read things, but we are trying. So the last thing we need is someone to sit and go, you're lazy, you're not doing this fast enough, or it's not okay. It's like, we are trying, and the words like stupid and idiot and thick, they're not okay. Like, we do try, and we will need support, but we'll get there when we get there, and that's fine. And there's loads of people out there that have became high class jobs that are dyslexic, so there's nothing to be sad about. And I would always say there's nothing to be embarrassed about. My son's dyslexic, I'm dyslexic, and I'm kind of starting to see signs in my daughter as well, but it doesn't worry me because I know that they'll be fine. So I'm going to end this here. Please, please, please share this video. Even if this is the video on my channel that you share the most, this is the one message that I want to get out there. And I just want other people to realise that it is okay. Please leave me comments below. I hope I've not offended anyone, but as a mum, this is one message that I had to get out there.